Hello and welcome. The economy and the polity indeed are in transition, and there's an incoming government. What are the kind of tasks and challenges ahead for India as a whole, particularly in the economic sphere? Well, I'm joined by Tarun Das, a person most well positioned to answer that question. He's also the founding trustee of Ananta Centre in India. Mr. Das, thank you very much for speaking with us. So I could ask you to wear various hats, including that of having been the chief of CII in the past. But if I were to, I'm sure you've seen many governments in transition, but this is a little different. I think expectations were very high. Maybe things have not worked out the way they have. But if we were to now get down to business, and what are the kind of issues that an incoming government should be focusing on for the rest of 2014 so that things get back to normal?
I'm going to give you a strange answer.
Okay.
And the strange answer is that in my view, the biggest failure and the biggest weakness has been getting things done. Everybody by and large knows what needs to be done in India, but they don't seem to know how to do it.
Okay.
So I would like to see the first day or first 2 days, the new Prime Minister giving us an outstanding team in the Prime Minister's office.
Okay.
Because that's the nerve center of everything, policy making and implementation. And I have seen Prime Ministers like Narasimha Rao with A.N. Verma as Principal Secretary, so like a captain of his team, or Atal Bihari Vajpayee with a Brajesh Mishra. The ability to get things done, and that made a huge difference in every aspect of governance, but especially on the economy, because projects have to be implemented, projects have to be cleared, 10 secretaries and 10 ministries have to work together, so somebody has to bang their heads together and move it, and I think we've been missing that. So people, I want to see
a good team
in the Prime Minister's office. And then the second part is, I think the government is very weak on what I'd call managers. People who can again get things done in different places, all right? So there are people with that expertise in the public sector and the private sector. And they are ready to come and work and do public service. Nandan Nilekani is not an exception. Arun Maira is not an exception. Ramadurai is not an exception. I can get 25 such people to lead different programs and different projects in the government. I want to see that happening. And that will transform the delivery, which we talk about is a very weak delivery system. That will transform the delivery system of the government. If you don't have the people, you're going to have all the policies which say what to do, nothing will happen. So priority 1 for the Prime Minister, get the right people and you're sailing.
Okay. And what would be priority 2? Would it be identifying some of the areas which need urgent resuscitation?
I would give as priority 2, strangely enough, public sector.
Okay.
Why I say this? Because we have a huge public sector in this country, whether we like it or not. All right? And even if you disinvest, how much will you disinvest? And there are a whole lot of issues about that, so that will be a process. But is the public sector delivering? My answer is no. Can the public sector deliver? My answer is yes. How can they deliver? How again? They must be distanced from their ministries. So I want to see a public sector authority being set up quickly. They will have the right, the chairman and the board of the public sector authority will have the right for appointments, not the ministries. The ministries will not intervene in their work, and the public sector will have freedom, or much more freedom, can never have full freedom in a country like this, but much more freedom and autonomy to function and get back competitiveness, efficiency, growth, whatever, and then contribute to the country. Because defense industries, for example, is a completely public sector preserve, but we all are crying for more defense production in this country as against import. It's not happening. The public sector is attached to the user ministry, Ministry of Defense. I think the public sector of the defense ministry should be out of there. They should be on their own. The BHEL, SAIL, steel ministry, all of these heavy industry ministry, get them out of there, distance themselves from the ministries. By the way, a natural corollary of that is you can rationalize ministries.
Yeah.
You can actually combine ministries and have a ministry of energy, a ministry of transport, a ministry of industry, which is in charge of manufacturing and production. So it can have a lot of connotations, but public sector can give us 1% GDP growth next year if it's handled right.
Okay. So, when it comes to managing some of these more tricky areas like consolidation of ministries, because as you said, one plays on the other. The fact that the ministries exist will also ensure that autonomy is reduced for the companies that work under them. How do you, I don't know whether it's a chicken or egg situation, but which one do you go after?
I hope that the new Prime Minister will actually rationalize ministries.
Okay.
I think there is enough evidence now to show that ministries have been dysfunctional. And we have a commerce and industry ministry which has no connection except they're in the same building, really. So one would like to see commerce being an international trade ministry, or even better, combined with external affairs, so that our international relationships, economic, political, strategic, are looked at in an integrated way. One minister, one cabinet minister for that. Canada has it, Malaysia has it, so a whole lot of countries have integrated trade and external affairs. Why not India? It makes a lot of sense to us, because that will ensure that we are all going in the same direction. Right. And industry should, the engineering industry, the chemical industry, they should all be together. They're all, the manufacturing industry should be in one place. If you want to really do something about manufacturing, and there are enough speeches being given all over about manufacturing, put them together, put good leadership, and put a secretary there like Mrs. Gandhi had done, Indira Gandhi had done, put a secretary there with domain knowledge. She had brought Mantosh Sondhi from the public sector to head the Ministry of Heavy Industry. Made a huge difference. And then after him, V. Krishnamurthy, and after him, D.V. Kapoor. If you look back into the 70s and the 80s, the Ministry of Industry was headed by professional managers.
Krishnamurthy then set up SAIL and Maruti.
And so we have quote unquote regressed. We've gone back to the civil service, but there's lack of domain knowledge there.
Right. So let me now come to a couple of specific points. Right. So one is industrial growth, which has been zero. And the larger concern about manufacturing capacity. I mean, growth is a separate issue. How do we, and these are, I would imagine, situations which demand urgent attention. What can be done there?
I think we have to start not at the wrong end, like talking about manufacturing zones, but at the other end, which is small and medium industry. Unglamorous, but they are the backbone. They make the parts, they make the components, they make the sub-assemblies which are put together as a finished product. Big manufacturing companies today outsource 80 to 90% of the product to be made by somebody else. So first, are we taking care of the small and medium? No, we are not. We are making life hell for them because they have to face with Inspector Raj multiplied by 100. So I hope the new government will decide one thing. For 3 years, no inspectors will visit any small industry. We will go from a policy of mistrust to a policy of trust. What will you lose? You will get growth, you will get production, you will get people energized, Instead of filling forms, they'll be making products. So we need to completely change the paradigm on manufacturing and go to the small and medium and say, I free you, because those are entrepreneurs. Those are our small and medium entrepreneurs. Free them from bureaucracy, free them from inspectors, and let them run free. And by and large, the services sector is much more free than manufacturing. So can we have the manufacturing sector and services sector, many small people, who are doing well. They're employing people. Do the same for the manufacturing sector.
Right. So a couple of things that would be needed to stitch this all together, right? So one is finance. The other is, let's say, jobs, and which maybe link back to, let's say, more manufacturing or capacity creation. But and which of these two would you want to focus more on?
Finance, there's a Small Industries Development Bank of India, well endowed, good capital base. I don't think finance is a problem if we can just allow the small and medium enterprises to function freely. All right? Finance is available in the country.
And for everyone, not just
everyone,
small, big,
for
everyone.
everyone.
You're saying capital is not a big
available.
concern. Okay.
I don't think it's a big for jobs. It is a small and medium who will give you jobs, because the large guy is very automated
And shrinking.
He's very capital intensive. You know, he's very technology intensive. It's a small and medium guy is going to give you jobs. So that's why your focus. So you know, there was a president I had, Suresh Krishna of TBS. He used to say, if you're looking for your keys, you know, don't look in the wrong place, because you look in the right place where you drop the keys. So for manufacturing, we need to look at the small and medium, help them to grow, trust them, give them empowerment, and you see the change. And small and medium are nimble-footed, so you will see change rapidly.
Okay. And if I were to sort of wrap this all up now, I mean, you also need a certain degree of inspiration and motivation and stuff like that, particularly if things have not been so good. I don't know if I can ask you to say what you would like to see, but how can this thing be handled? I mean, how can the national mood change, so to speak?
I think we have to give a vision. You know, my mind goes back to 1984. We were down in the dumps. You know, we had just had an assassination of a prime minister. We got a new prime minister, 40 years old. We were heavily controlled and regulated. We were in handcuffs in industry. And he came and said, let's connect with the world. Let's build technology. Let's bring the private sector into the center of the room instead of being outside of the room. Just said a few things. On 22nd March 1985, he gave a visionary speech in Vigyan Bhavan to the private sector and held out his hand of friendship to them, and the private sector responded to him. So, you know, this can change overnight.
Yeah.
It's a and in this day and age, communication is so important. I think it can. You lay out a vision and you tell them, come with me. You are going, and private sector by now is actually in the center of the room, you know, in terms of development and growth. So they won't need much motivation. You just have to give them a little bit of a support instead of more tax harassment cases and more retrospective stuff and going back 5 years and opening their books and all that. So you can do it, but it has to be a positive action.
Right. So bring in a good team that everyone respects and can set direction, set the direction,
and
of
who
course.
can implement.
And who can implement, because you started by saying, go get it done. The second is, you said, have a sort of sharp focus on medium and small enterprises. Also ensure that there is capital, but capital is available.
I think capital is available.
Capital is available. So, and these 2 or 3 things are sufficient, not sufficient, but at least strong preconditions for a return to.
And give a new dream.
And give a new dream.
And give a new dream, we can take on the world.
Right. That's a very warm note to end on. Thank you very much, Mr. Das.
Thank you.
Thank you.